So okay, so you're 18 now, or 18 when you were with Ottawa, right?
18 Ottawa Fury.
So 18 with Ottawa Fury. What happened after that?
So this was like a down part of my career, and so I'm 18 and everything's going really well, right? But the thing is, I was young at the time and I really wanted to play in Europe. And there was a guy who came to try out for our team. He wasn't good enough, but he was from France.
Mm-hmm.
He went back home and whatnot, and I stayed in contact with him. And so he was telling me, like, if you want to come to Europe, like, this team will do this for you, this team for you, do that for you. And you know, like, excuse me, you're 16, 17, you're young, so you're just like, oh, like, kind of just want to leave. And so with the way that the way
grass
that
is
I
always
did this,
greener, right?
Oh man, like, and so this was like a huge learning experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so imagine this, everything's going perfect. Like, I'm playing all the games, 90 minutes, training with the first team. Everything's going perfect with the Ottawa Fury at the time. But I was like, oh, you know what? Like, I kind of wanna play in Europe, want to pursue my goals there. And so I think that's when I kind of got over in my head a little too much. And so I was really on a high. And so wanted to push for that. And out of nowhere, I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm leaving. Even though, like, there was nothing set with the club, and I was like, you know what, I'm leaving, I want to do that. And so I brought it up to my friend as well, like my best friend that I told you, and he was like, you know what, he wants to leave, because at the time he was on a downfall, and he wasn't training as much, and he wasn't playing in the games as well. So he was like, you know what, like, we'll both go together. And so can you imagine, like, I just left, like, I told the coach and everything, but
it was mid-season,
and I kind of just left. I left to go play in France, and I started off playing like 5th, 4th division. And the thing is, all the things that were promised.
What month and year was this? Like,
so I went. The season was gonna be done. I left. I remember I left to France in August.
Okay.
Okay. The season started around March. Left in August, and the season was there was only like a couple months left. So the season would have been done in September. But, you know, that's when they started recruiting for teams in Europe and stuff. So then I was like, you know what, like, I might as well leave now.
Yeah.
And so August comes around, and I leave to go to France. And my coach wasn't happy with me because I even though I told him, like, he just thought it was a stupid idea, because obviously he knows, right? He knows how it works. And so for me going to France, I thought I would be playing in like 2nd division club, first division club, you know. That's what I saw. And then when I got there, it was completely different from what I thought it would be. You know what I mean? And so, like, a lot of the things that the guy was promising me wasn't true. Yeah. And so imagine I'm 18 years old, I'm in France, and I'm just like, I have a little bit of money. I'm just like, what am I gonna do and everything? You know, I'm living with my best friend. And so my best friend, it got to a point where he was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. Like, I have to leave. And so he ended up going back to Ottawa. So I stayed in France by myself. I was like, you know what, since I've come here, I'm going to try and stick it out and at least get something out of it. Yeah. So I did what every soccer player does, going through all, you know, Soccer Way, going through all the emails in Soccer Way, emailing all the coaches, emailing all the teams. I just created a highlight tape. And so I was doing that, created a CV. And so that's when me and Jeff actually really became big friends, because during that time, I remember it was a real struggle, and Jeff was also traveling around Europe.
He was in Germany, right?
He was. No, I think he was in Portugal at the time.
Okay.
He might have been in Portugal, and so it was a real struggle for me. I messaged Jeff, and he was like, you know what, he was with Godwin, and so they came to visit me in France. They helped me with my highlight video. I started emailing coaches.
Wow.
Yeah, so like that's when we really became close. pretty much.
Mimi just goes Canadians.
Pretty much, but yeah, so that was like a really downfall, because all the guys that were training with the Fury at the time while I was there ended up signing on like an amateur.
So
young
you're
contract.
over there. You're over in France, struggling to even get like quality training sessions, find teams, and you're seeing all your teammates that you've probably been doing better than starting to sign and get success and start to go up on a high.
And that was the hardest part of the trip for me. For me, I never thought that I wasn't gonna make it, or that never came across my mind, but that was hard, like seeing the people sign, and I was like, oh, like I was just training with them. If I had just stuck with it, do you know what I mean? Like could have been like me that's signing as well, because it was going really well for me. And so
I always think though, like, you can think like that, but like, because people ask me all the time, it's like, do I think I should have stayed over in Germany? Do I think I should have not have left Orange County? Do I think I should have even stayed in New Zealand? Do I think I should have done this? And like but the thing is, like, you never know. Like, you could have stayed with Ottawa Fury, you know, the team, and then you could have had a training session that you would have just had a career-ending injury, or you could have had like a session that you got into a big, you know, falling out with the coach, and then you quit soccer right there. You know, like you can always think of the high, like the positive thing that could happen, but you never know. So it's like, I don't know, you don't know if that could have been a better path or a worse path, you know?
You're right. Like, I agree with you 100%. If you, like, asking me that question now, I don't regret going. In the moment of the time, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have gone. But now it's taught me so much. And I was 18 living in France by myself. Do you know what I mean? Not a lot of people will leave away from home to do that by themselves. But I did it, and I experienced it. And like, even now when the young players ask me, they're like, oh, they want to go to Europe and stuff, I always tell them to make sure that everything's set, or make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, because everyone has like this high perception of being a pro and what it has to become, but it's for most of us, it's not like that, is it? And so it's
the far majority of professional soccer players, it's not.
It's
like that.
It's a lot of ups and downs. A lot of ups and downs.
When you were 18 and you just bought a one-way ticket over to France. Huh?
One-way ticket, yeah.
Were you and your friend, and you just went straight over there? What did you just go? What cities were you in?
I went to Paris in the first bit, and then I went to Bordeaux, and then I stayed there for pretty much 90 days.
Okay.
So up to the
right up till your tourist visa.
Yeah. And so that's another thing I didn't even know, like, at the time.
Visas.
The visa. Right? And so they could imagine me just going, I'm just like, I'm going to go play in France. But I didn't even have like a visa or anything.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know about it at the time. Right? And so whereas now I'm like, oh, I know most countries that you do need a visa to play and stuff. And so I did learn a lot about it. But I remember going to different clubs, legit going to like club offices. I went to Bordeaux, the club. It was like some huge building. Yeah. And I just went to like ask to talk to the coaches, and they're like, it's literally impossible for you to do this.
Yeah.
So like it was just.
And you just have hard, and because you go over there, like what you said, you go over there and you're thinking like, oh yeah, you know, there's so many clubs over there. You have this idea in your head that you're gonna be signing or at least getting trials with a whole bunch of teams, and then you get hit with like, not only do these teams are these teams full, or are these teams not even looking, or do they have they don't have enough foreigner spots, but then they're like, the teams that you even do get a trial with or even are interested a little bit, they're like, the visa is not going to work out.